And to each one of these ringlands came one guy called one Ra-B. And Ra is the king, he's making the Ras. And B is this little black and yellow thing that goes bzz, bzz from nature, he's one pollinator. So one Ra-B is one breeder coming out from hell as we were coming out over this planet. You were one Nar, one information, or one Ra-B. When you left hell, you come now to what we call the Van people. And the Van people are a second family of people. In the top, in hell, was the As people, the Pirouette and the Rosette. But outside, you come from this ringland at the top as you came to the equator. And now we had thousands of ringlands, and now we had something called the Van people. And Van means one people. And we all spoke one language. We were all brown. We all had brown eyes. We were all vegetarian in the paradise. Per is the father, and Ra is his son, the paradise, the paradise. So this story is about Per and Ra. This highest family outside, in what we call the Van people, they're called Jarl. The middle class is called Kar, and this low class is called Trail. Jarlet, Karlet, Trailet. Jarl is Earl in English. Kar is crofter in English. And Trail is serf or peon in English. Today we call it upper income, middle income, and lower income. So we still have three today. But it's on one money story today. This highest family, Jarl, very few of the Jarls. They were the highest family outside Udenma. The middle class is called Kar. And the lowest people are called Trail, like Australia. Most of the planet was Trail. But by the time the sperm had been divided, by the sperma had been divided from the pirouette, the rosette, the yarlet, the carlet, the trailet, 5 times the sperma had been divided. The trail men didn't have enough soul in their balls to make healthy children. So these trail women, they were going to choose the E. They were going to val. Val means to choose or elect. You valen, you make valid, val. Valentine's Day, you choose. Val means to choose. Validate. E is this thing that the man has between his legs, very masculine, the E. And Kar is the car man. So these women from the trail, they were going to val, choose the E of one car man at one car ni val. Val is the elect, E is the E, and Kar is the car man at one carnival. So these women were choosing up to the car men. The car women are choosing up to the Jarl. And the Jarl women are being impregnated by the Rabi who's coming down, who's the son of the Bach at the top. So if I was a trail boy in Australia, I understood that my father was the car. My grandfather was the Jarl. My great-grandfather was the Rabi bringing the sperm down from hell. And my great-great-grandfather was the Bach sitting on top of the rock at the very top. If I was a trail boy in South America, I understood that my father was the car, my grandfather the Jarl, my great-grandfather the Rabi coming down, and my great-great-grandfather was this Bach sitting. So no matter where we lived on this planet, we all understood there was one mother and one father sitting at the top. We were all one family, and we all spoke one language in the beginning. The symbol for hell. At the top of the planet, they took one crown off one tree, one palm tree. in the paradise. And they made one steel ring. And this steel ring had one steel cross in the middle. And this steel cross came a little beyond the ring on four sides. If you think that the North Pole is where the four corners of the planet meet, the four hemispheres, they meet at this hole in the top of the pole. And they put this steel ring on this stump of one tree. They put one steel peg, and they put the steel ring on it, and now they put the crown of the tree back on. So at the very top of the planet, there was one tree with one metal ring in the middle. And from these four pegs coming off, they put one paper bow. And they filled it full of something called swavel. Swavel. In English, swavel means sulfur. It's this yellow powder that smells when you light a matchstick. And they fill these four bows full of this swavel, and they put fire to these four bows. And this wheel would start to spin faster and faster. It was one wheel of life, one wheel of light. The life wheel, or the light wheel, or the wheel, the devil. And this symbol represented as the people were coming out from the top of the pole, from this ring of land, as the people were coming out, we were spinning out off the top as one light wheel, one life wheel. It's called the swastika. Swastika. Swavel, swav, the sulfur wheel. And it's a very, very positive symbol. Only one man made it to be negative. You'll find this symbol in Africa, you'll find it in the Red Indians, you'll find it everywhere, the Hindus. It's the wheel of life. Swavel, swastika. And this was the symbol for health. The people, we lived a lot different in the Paradise. Maybe I talk about how we made children before. We start with the 13th day of the 12th month. We call it Lucia Day. And Lucia Day was one day that the girls would have one dream in one village. And this dream was one woman coming down from one hill with 7 candles in her hair. And she's called the Lucia. And Lucia means the light. Lucid. Loose. And the girls who had this dream, they would go to the 2 old women of the village the next day, of the tribe. And now they tell these 2 old women, I had the dream of the Lucia. And these 2 old women could ask some questions. And soon they know whether this girl really had the dream or not. If she didn't have the dream, she couldn't make a child that year. She could have the dream and tell the old women, I didn't have the dream. So it was really up to the woman whether she wanted to make a child. But she had to have this dream or she wasn't. We come from the 13th of 12, Lucia Day, the dream day, to now to the 24th of 12, what we call Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve is this winter solstice. It had nothing to do with Jesus' birthday. It's the shortest day of the year. And we call it Festival Day. Fest is one party. E is the man, has one E. And Val means to choose again. So on this day, these girls who had this dream, they could go Val the E at one party, at one festival. And these girls were very evil. Festival. So maybe evil isn't so bad.